Welcome to Patriarchy.com, where we help you become a more virtuous leader for your family. I'm Knowland, and on this channel, Daily Patriarchy, I answer all your questions in video form every day. I also document our progress towards strengthening society by rebuilding the patriarchy one family at a time. So, quick update on how the channel is doing. If we switch over to the screen share here, you'll see that we're on now 544 subscribers after 10 videos. Thanks to everyone who's subscribed and shared the content. Carry on doing that so we can get this message out there. You might also like to check out the main channel here, Will Knowland at Be Her Leader, where you'll find more long-form content to improve your marriage. So head over there, subscribe too. Now, on to the comments for today then. I'll just skim down to the bottom and then we will build our way back up. So 3D says, great video for the leadership through family, pressures, and drama. Yeah, thanks for watching. It really is important to be able to handle those situations well, because as a man, you need to be able to signal strength and confidence to your wife in those situations so that she feels protected and safe. Omaha Mommy says, fantastic, so helpful. Thanks so much for the list of tips on what men want from their wives. Go check that out if you haven't already. It's in the What Husbands Want from Wives video. Can definitely make a big difference to you if you're feeling like your husband isn't quite leading in the way that you want him to, and you need to encourage him. Also, if you're a man, it will help you clarify what you really want from your wife and what's lacking so that you can communicate that to her and start to build together. So highly recommend checking that one out. All right, Luke asks, how to navigate low libido in a wife. You know the issues, you're working on them. The end is in sight, and yet so far, fear keeps bubbling up that this will not be resolved because it's been this way for an entire decade-long marriage, and the behaviors might be set in stone. That's interesting. So, first of all, if you know the issues and you're working on them, that should tell you that there are improvements happening. So let that give you some confidence. The other thing here, though, is that you seem afraid for some reason. Why is that? Is it because there's something that's too difficult for you to handle and you don't feel that you have the skills to overcome it? So it's really a confidence problem? Or is this to do with your own neediness? Do you feel that the sexual connection not being what you want it to be is lowering your self-esteem? Could be that. So you have to figure out what it is exactly, or what the mix of things might be. And a good thought experiment for you might actually be, what if it doesn't change? And all you have to do as a man is be able to manage the situation better, including whatever neediness or insecurity might be there. That's a good thought experiment to face. What does it expose in you if you make the assumption that it's as good as it's ever going to get? And although it might seem counterintuitive, but being able to play out that possibility in your mind and letting all the panic and fear and weakness come to the surface so you can confront it and then making peace with it might actually be the best thing that you can do to improve her low libido, because the pressure of expectation, the clinginess, the neediness that she might feel from you and that is subconsciously turning her off will disappear. So try it out. Play that out in your mind. How does it make you feel about yourself as a man if you assume that this is as good as it's ever going to get? Okay, next question. Sir Totally Average says, given the extensive mountain behind you, what would be your top 5 book suggestions for men? As the leader of the home, and ideally the one your family will turn to for answers, it seems at least a basic knowledge of certain theological, philosophical, historical, and practical knowledge is expected. So it is sometimes hard to know where to start. Put differently, what books do you think it would be ideal for a man to have under his belt before becoming a patriarch? This is really more of a coaching question. So I don't know you and what you need to work on to be able to tell you what books would suit you best. You seem like you're the sort of person who really wants to feel like you can tick off a checklist of what you think the ideal man should know about. Fair enough. You can find lots of interesting stuff in books, but notice that Jesus didn't write a book, okay? Instead, what he did was give us a living church, a teaching authority. And that's really what we should care most about. You can go to the church for the answers that your family needs. So build a strong relationship with your parish priest and really build that connection. Now, the next thing that I think will be really helpful for you is to have a look at the most important papal encyclical on marriage, Casti Connubii, and just look at what the church has to say about the role of the husband, because that will really clear up lots of misconceptions you might have about patriarchy. So that's my top recommendation. Other than that, I don't know you to be able to say what books I think would help. I hope that makes sense. Okay, next question. Let's keep going up the list. Tradcat asks, "Hey, Will, my wife and I just had a newborn 8 days ago. The baby keeps us awake most nights because she is colicky, and my wife is very tired and irrational. And I am more annoyed lately, lacking patience and charity. I am more harsh with my wife and snap at her. And I get angry and impatient when hearing the baby constantly cry. What should I do? Your advice would be greatly appreciated." So in this situation, based on your problem, it sounds like you're both just sleep deprived. So common sense response here is to recognize that that is the source of the problems between you at the moment. Don't take it personally. And you need to find ways for your wife to get some naps during the day and for you two as well to help take the edge off it. Now, beyond that, you might have to look into ways to help the baby cry less, ways to handle colic. You can talk to a midwife about that. You can also find resources online. But remember, what you're going through isn't something you should take personally, and your wife shouldn't take it personally either. You've got the practical knowledge about how to handle colic, and then you've also got the simple fact that you both need a bit more sleep than you're currently getting. So look for people in your extended family or in your friendship group, in your community, who can help you out there if that's what you need to make it happen. But really prioritize that. And Mate Klein says, "Thanks for this list and the explanations. The video was helpful to me." And that's for the What Husbands Want from Wives again. Go and check it out. I think you'll really find it beneficial. Shock Trooper Films asks, "During the courtship phase, how should one go about discussing the duties and obligations that come with marriage, as well as the natural order between husband and wife? Really enjoying the videos, very helpful." Well, you've asked how should one go about it, assuming that you actually should. It's not obvious that you should be talking about the duties and obligations that come with marriage during courtship. With courtship, what you're actually trying to do is find out if you and her are a good fit psychologically, right? In terms of your personalities. Is there a really solid basis for a friendship there? If you start bringing in ideas about the duties and obligations, that can actually cause problems, because assuming there's a good fit between the two of you, it sounds pretty insecure to give a list of things that you think she should do as a wife. Build a stronger connection with her, and then she will be doing those things anyway. Going in with like a clipboard of things that you think the duties and obligations of husband and wife entail isn't really a smart move. If she's Catholic and she's open to life and she's excited about the prospect of being a stay-at-home wife and mother, that's what you need to know, right? Her value system is the same as yours because you're both rooted in what the church teaches. That's the important thing to focus on. Great. So we've got through the comments for today, and make sure as well, if you've enjoyed this content, that you head over to patriarchy.com, where you can see in our support community, we're up to 254 members now. Lots of interesting material for you to check out. Calls with me each week to help keep you on track with your goals. Also got courses for you to work through and other guys for you to forge connections with. Great value, $9 a month. A lot of guys have joined and instantly noticed big improvements in their interactions with their wives that have massively benefited their home lives. So thanks for the questions. Drop your comments in the section for today's video, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.